That's some...
Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Düsseldorf. We're running two events at the same time because we broke the attendance record. We got 2,838 players in total, spread over two different locations. This is YCS Düsseldorf number 1. The other one is known as YCS Düsseldorf. So that's the running gag for this weekend. It's going to be a very exciting event. Nobody could have imagined that we have 450 players more than last time when we set the attendance record, which was in Utrecht. We had 3 really exciting feature matches in the first 3 rounds with some very accomplished players. We even saw a duel between 2 former YCS winners. And this round is going to be a little bit different. We got some creative decks for you guys, but I don't want to spoil it all because of course you're going to get that information from our match commentators. Let's first bring in the players. In the red corner, we got Giuseppe Caratozzolo. Good morning. Buongiorno.
Hi.
How are you doing? How are you feeling about your chances in the feature match?
Normal. I'm relaxed.
You're relaxed. Okay. How was your travel here? You're from Italy.
Yeah.
How did you get here to Düsseldorf?
Sorry?
How did you get here? Did you fly with a plane?
Yeah.
And did you arrive yesterday already?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. And did you pre-register yesterday? Did you register for the event yesterday already?
No.
No, just this morning.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were one of the lucky people that still made it in this morning into the main event. All right, well, let's hope that you're going to be lucky in the feature match as well. Please have a seat. His opponent for this round, it's basically the all-time classic. We got Italy versus Germany, Maximilian Kraeft.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. This is my first time feature match and I'm very excited.
But it's not your first YCS, of course, right?
No, it's my 8th.
Okay, so you're counting. That's good. And how many times did you reach day 2?
Nearly every time, I think.
Okay, so pretty good record there.
Yeah.
And have you made it to the top cut before?
One time.
One time.
But it's long ago, like I think 2012 or 13.
All right. So what's your expectation for the weekend? What's your goal? You want to reach day 2 or you want to make it to the top cut again?
No, my goal this weekend is reaching the top cut.
All right. And what is your approach? Are you basically taking it one game at a time, or you're like, I need to look at the big picture, I need to see that goal basically clearly in front of me. So how do you prepare for every single match?
Yeah, I think the key is just to keep calm and don't get stressed. Because if you get stressed, you're making misplays, and I just see it as a fun play. And so, yeah.
All right. And what difference does it make playing in the feature match area now?
I'm a little bit nervous because it's my first time, but I'll do my best.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to do fine. Please have a seat as well. Good luck to you. Good luck to you as well. Let's do the die roll and see who's going to be allowed to go first. So we see a 6 for Giuseppe. And Maximilian's got a 5. Almost match it. Oh, but Giuseppe decides that Maximilian is going to go first. Yes, all right. So bit of a surprise there. We haven't had that last event where everybody wanted to go first. So I'm pretty certain that our match commentators can work with that. They can tell you a little bit about the decks after these guys have been set up. So let's take you over to Daniel Neville and Marcello Barberi.
There we go. We are here with round 4, and it's definitely an exciting match. So as Oliver said, we have Italy against Germany.
Both players undefeated.
Yeah, both players undefeated.
And some interesting deck lists.
Definitely. So they are, first of all, both decks that rely heavily on monsters. I would have almost expected both to be Sekka's light deck, but only Giuseppe is the one doing that. And, well, what do you think if your opponent lets you go first? What is your first instinct?
Oh, I mean, there are a few decks in the format that I'm worried of when I made go first. There's a small chance it could be going second striker, but personally, I think Sky Striker going first is just preferable. So I wouldn't be super concerned about that. It's not going to do much. You're just worried about evenly matched. So then that leads us to the decks that just want to kill me turn 2. And those are the scary decks. So it's something that's going to want to make Boral Sword.
Exactly.
We saw Orcus last round, so it could be the Orcus stack, but I think the Orcus stack is a bit less known. Something else it could be is a Lunalight, which we saw win YCS Chicago. But again, Lunalight is slightly worse because Salmon Grates is about. Now, what it could be is the fan favorite. Your opponent's Italian.
Yeah.
Classic Burning
Cliché. And that's right. It actually is Burning Abyss. So Giuseppe, in the easiest of the cliches, plays the deck that's been around for almost 5 years now, and he thinks he's still good. I saw a lot of people actually take a different approach on the deck, since with the new Forbidden Limited list, Snow is no longer an option.
Yes,
And
and
then-
Snow was the heart of that deck. The deck
Exactly.
which Dante's Cat, which won UK Nationals by Tom Rose. Like, Snow was such a core part of the identity of that deck. So while we have a lot of the same cards, we do see kind of a new order of Burning Abyss.
Exactly.
This deck can still make Boral Sword.
It can definitely do it that easy. But if you thought Burning Abyss was a deck that's been around for a lot of time, Maximilian's deck is even more, because he's playing Blue Eyes, probably one of the oldest
original.
decks. Yeah,
The
OG,
original and
the OG.
best.
And yeah, he came up to us saying that he was doing really well with the deck. He is confident with it. So I just want to see what he can do. He's gonna go first. So let's see what his combos are, and let's
see
go
how
to
it
the
goes.
table.
Okay, I'm super excited for
Definitely.
this match. So they're both playing the Danger Engine.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because we see the Blue Eyes deck, which is big, rompy, stompy monsters. And then we have the Burning Abyss, which is all the little small guys. And we're going to see, like, is the consistent Burning Abyss creatures going to be more effective? Or are we just going to see the Blue Eyes creatures, which are massive
Exactly.
and clunkier, but a lot more impactful?
So it seems like Maximilian deck is somewhat similar to an Anfield as Marco Perico, because he's also playing the Amorphage Goliath. But the strategy is slightly different, because he has the Arcbreak Dragon, which is able to summon it back from grave. So rather than using LP that way, which he obviously also plays, he has some few different options, and we know how important the extra deck is for Burning Abyss. So let's see how that goes.
Something very cool here. So first off, Burning Abyss does have an out to effects like that in Farfa.
Exactly.
Farfa is such a like a versatile card. But something really cool is in this Blue Eyes deck, we're seeing Guard Dragons. Not only that, Guard Dragons have led to us seeing Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon in the format again, which is such a cool card. I remember back like 2010, you had Disaster Dragons and such, and it's such a kind of defining card of those formats. So it's really cool to see that being played again.
Definitely, and well, he opens right away with the Melody, discarding one of the few good cards in grave, which is the Arcbrave, and he's gonna want to go for the Goliath in general. I mean, even if your opponent lets you go first, you can assume that their deck relies heavily on the extra deck, so that's a really good goal.
I mean,
and
even true evenly, if you get
Yeah.
evenly and all you have left is a Goliath, you're still probably in a decent position. So
yeah, and to be fair, there are even more outs in the form of Kaijus, because you can still Kaijus the Goliath compared to a Vanity Fiend, so...
there's a lovely interaction here because the danger, or the Melody gets a Blue Eyes to hand.
Yep.
And then the Blue Eyes means you're less likely to hit your danger cards. Unfortunately, Ogopogo seems to have just hit itself.
Yep.
So we're going to try with Thunderbird instead.
And if that misses as well, that's going to be crucial. It does resolve, but it doesn't seem like he has a lot. He draws into a Bigfoot, which is...
individually, it's pretty good by itself.
And now he's going to go into a rank 8, but that's all he needs, because he's playing all the dangers level 8, because you can go into Dark Matter Dragon, which is such an incredible card.
Cypher Dragon is actually really funny in this matchup, because you can Cypher Dragon your opponent's Beatrice,
Yeah,
and then you rank over.
that's true.
That was back in like 2015 Blue
Yeah,
Eyes format.
such a flashback.
And like you were saying, Dark Matter is
Dark
a
Matter
really good
is
card.
incredible.
It even just, we've been talking a bit about the information game, and the fact that no matter how this match goes, I now know 3 cards in your deck.
Yep. And Giuseppe hand is as straightforward as it gets. 5 Burning Abyss monsters. Quite unfortunate because he is only playing 10. So like his deck is actually full of different touches, and drawing 5 is incredible.
And that's something that we've kind of seen with the Burning Abyss decks, right?
Yeah.
They're called Burning Abyss, and they do rely heavily on Dante, but you want to play as few Burning Abyss monsters as you
Exactly.
can get away with. Like, the best Burning Abyss monster at the moment is probably Tsuchinoko.
Yeah, or Fiendish Rhino even. Yeah.
Fiendish Rhino is amazing.
Yeah.
Spectacular card.
So of course he's showing him the Dark Matter. You can send 3 cards essentially, and it's such a blowout card. Like as soon as you set up for Dark Matter Dragon, then you have the Goliath online. You can send both Goliath and Archbrave to the grave, and that means that during the next standby phase, you just banish the Archbrave, summon back the Goliath, and you shut down extra deck.
Yeah.
So
What do you think the BA player is going to send here? Like, you have to banish 3 cards from
Yeah.
your deck. Are you going to banish Dangers, or do you want to keep them in the deck so that you can kind of progress through as much as possible?
I mean, he has a few cards. Like he's playing 6 Kaijus, which you can definitely keep. So like, as long as you banish like, maybe stuff like Gallus would be correct, because
Gallus doesn't do much in this hand.
it doesn't really do much right now. But the thing is, do you know where your opponent is going with this Dark Matter?
That's true.
So
And how much information do you want to give your
Yeah.
opponent as well? It's quite interesting because in formats where Dark Matter is played frequently,
yeah,
you kind of have an idea when you're playing your deck. You're like, oh, well, this is the stuff that I send off Dark Matter. Whereas in a situation like this, where you haven't seen a Dark Matter in
Exactly.
a couple of years, you're kind of thinking on the fly. And that puts people under more pressure.
yeah.
Of
Oh,
course,
Overall, you can just banish anything that doesn't work with your end, because you have 5 Burning Abyss monster again. So he's considering the Psychic Wielder, which is the new card from Savage Strike.
yeah.
It's a cool extender that we might get to see also in Salamangreat.
Okay, so we're banishing 2 Burning Abyss, I believe, and it looks like the Psychic
Barber,
Wielder.
Kalkub, and whatever.
Yeah, the Wielder is a card that was hyped a lot by Burning Abyss players going into the format.
Yeah,
Again, that was before we saw that Fairy Tail Snow had been hit by
Exactly.
the list.
the thing is, it gives you a cool option of going into Bryonic, which we
Yes.
saw in the last future match as well, being really good.
So we're adding Blue Eyes back to hand, and does this look like he's going to use a danger effect in hand?
So
Okay, he's activating the Dragon Grave.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a bunch of grave effects going on here.
Yeah. Let's show. They are the new guard dragons. So it's prominences. He's basically trying and go for the guard dragons, but since he is already online, he doesn't need to do too much. So let's see if he wants to go like for a Saruya, for example, or just a little bit.
Yeah. It's
Into-
an interesting thing with
Yeah.
what the guard dragons bring to the deck, because traditionally with Blue Eyes, the problem was that with Master Rule 4, you would end up with just one big Dark Matter dragon and that's it. Whereas now we're
Yeah.
seeing that we can actually extend beyond that. We can end up with a much more impactful board. Dark Matter did his thing. He set up the graveyard. He got us online.
Exactly. And now he's able to get the Red Dice Darkness Metal Dragon from deck,
Which is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That card is.
which is definitely a lot of fun. And he can actually recycle it because of PST. So he's free to do whatever he wants. And you can see that's just the power of Dark Matter. Dark Matter did this alone. So the dangers, again, showing how good they are. Like in Burning Abyss, for example, you take Giuseppe's deck. He's only playing the level 3 dangers because all he cares about is Dante. Now Maximilian on the other end is playing the level 8. So you have such a versatile with dangers that it's great.
Here we see some nice old card design where we don't have hard ones per turns.
Yep.
So because Red Eyes Darkness Metal, it only checks
Yeah.
for while this copy of the card was face up on the field. We get to bring back Dark Matter Dragon.
Exactly. And now you can get the last guard dragon, So he's gonna be able to special summon for another extra. Most likely the Red Dragon Archive in Abyss. Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's essentially a negation for any card. And that protects you from like evenly matched or anything like that. And now he goes and uses all the guard dragons in his field to go into barrel load. A second dark matter is summoned, which is crazy.
It just keeps going. It's
yeah.
And the really interesting thing is, it's not as relevant in this matchup here, but against decks like Sky Strikers, if you're banishing 6 monsters from their deck turn 1, they don't really have much left at that point.
What's your plan if you play against Thunder Dragon, though?
Sure.
You're basically giving them all the gold sark they lost.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. So they have a board and stuff, but it's okay.
It's okay.
We have Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
What more do you need? I think Blue Eyes White Dragon and Dante are 2 of the most popular cards I have ever encountered.
Is that it?
Is that it?
Is that it?
4 massive dragons on board.
Is that
what
it?
more do you want from me, man? So I'm interested to see, because the Burning Abyss deck, because it has so much ability to put cards onto the board, it can really climb through its extra deck to solve problems. So I'm interested to see how much he can do to solve this problem on the board. The Borreload is actually really relevant in this matchup, because, as we see, the only way the deck has of dealing with cards is through monster effects.
Yeah.
I mean, Sekka's Light is not going to clear the Borreload from the field. So we need a Kaiju to deal with the Borreload, or our own
or
Borreload.
your own Borreload, exactly.
The classic solution to most problems.
And the problem is that the only way you can clear the Goliath is also the Kaiju or a Farfa.
Yes.
And we know right now that he would need to just crash the Farfa to use its effect. And by doing that, you lose the bar load. So the next draw for Giuseppe will be super important. Now, as we were saying, Arc Brave is used to get back the Goliath and shut down the extra deck.
And that's a real struggle for the BA deck here.
For sure.
It's an unfortunate hand for the Burning Abyss deck. As we said, you don't want to be drawing your Burning Abyss monsters. Not more than 2 to 3 of them maximum.
Yeah.
Like 3 if you want Beatrice, 2 if you're happy with just a Dante. And so this is a really tough board. I'm not sure Giuseppe can come back from the Goliath. Without the Goliath,
yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal, honestly, but still, it's such a huge board, and
like you can normal Farfa, crash into the smallest monster.
Yeah, but then
banish Goliath, and then you can summon 4 guys, and
but you lost your battle phase. That's the thing.
Yeah, which is massive because you've chosen to go second because you want to be ending the game in your battle phase.
And that's what's happening. He is forced to do this, honestly. There is not much he can do, and
and it doesn't even deal with the problem of the Goliath. Even if he can clear the rest of the board, there will still be a Goliath coming back.
Exactly.
And it's just such a big monster. It's high attack points are really relevant in these formats at the moment.
Yeah, basically, when we asked back in YCS Utrecht why our colleague, we can say, Tom Rose, was playing Burning Abyss, he was just like, I don't know, I want to play a bunch of big dudes, big monsters, and just try an OTK. And that seems like what both Giuseppe and Maximilian are trying to do today.
Yes, exactly.
And just as a reminder, Dark Matter is 4,000 attack.
Yes.
So it's quite a big deal.
I believe it can also attack twice as well.
Yeah, it's basically you can detach 1 and you can attack twice, but only on monsters. So
okay. Well, that's not too bad.
No,
You know,
it's
it's
not.
reasonable.
It's,
It's fine. It's fine.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So we have to special summon, normal summon, overlay for a Dante.
One Dante.
Oh, that's...
Whoa.
Oh. It's always not good when you have to special summon your good
Yeah.
Raining Abyss monsters. I mean, is there a possibility that he could float and maybe draw into stuff next turn? Because the Raining Abyss deck is very good at surviving.
Well, these meals definitely help, but
Yeah. We could actually be going something, like, we could be going somewhere here, but it's still a really tough
I don't see
problem
it.
to fix.
Honestly, I don't see it. Because you still have the negation from the Archifiend Abyss, which is online, and that's also a big deal. So, like, even if the word, he could play a Yahtzee and try to go from there. I mean, we know that Mer would be. It's weird. As you said, he probably just needs to stall.
Yeah. Does he play Purple Dante? Does he play the fusion monster? He
don't
does
think he
not
does.
seem to play Dante
Yeah.
Pilgrim. Not that Pilgrim is really relevant here, because again, normally Pilgrim is bigger than your opponent's monsters.
Yeah.
But that is not the case here.
Exactly. Would
I
you
mean-
have used the Sekka's Lighting Grave?
I would have.
Yeah.
I think if I'm still playing at this point in the game, I would have tried
It's
to
like,
exhaust all
what
my
I'm thinking
resources.
is, if you get a Kaiju, you just get rid of the Borrowed there, and
Yeah.
why wouldn't you?
Beatrice activates in response to the Borload attack, presumably sending a Farfa. We'll find out.
If he even has any other Farfa, but yeah.
That's true.
You can send the Rhino to just dig more, you can send... You can't send Snow, so...
No.
But yeah, I'm wondering why he didn't just try and use the Sekka's Lighting Grave. Because it's... Yeah.
It was an option.
Yeah, he could have drawn into another Sekka's Light and any Kaijus. So...
Are we just going to summon Farfa from graveyard?
I mean, he still
Summon
has
Limbic.
both effects, so... Let's
And he'll
see.
summon negated Farfa from hand.
Yeah.
Okay, so replay occurs. Borload can change its attack target. He says,
But
no, I'm just going to take Beatrice.
Now...
No matter what monster he clears, that's still game on board. Because Farfa can clear a Dark Matter
Yeah.
Dragon, but Dark Matter and the Archfiend Dragon will end the game anyway.
I know. Because... There was a cool interaction with, like, replays and Borrowed's word, more than Borrowed. So I wanted just to quickly check. Because it's something that's not super known, that like a replay isn't considered an attack declaration.
Exactly, yes.
So
the attack has been declared,
Exactly.
and then we are in the step between attack declaration
Yep.
and damage step. So there isn't any massive interaction there because Borload activates at the start
yeah,
of
of
damage, I believe.
course. But yeah, it's very convincing game for Maximilian.
Yeah.
He takes it. Giuseppe didn't really have much he could do. He opened 5 Burning Abyss monsters of his 10, and he didn't get any of his Kaijus. Maybe he could have banished the Sekka's Light, but it seems like it was too late at that point anyway. So we're gonna move to the side decks, and now you gotta think. What, like, if you're in Giuseppe's mind, you're definitely confused. But then you can't expect such a deck. So what do you do?
Well, I mean, the problem is you either go first against a deck that is obviously also happy to go second, or else you go second, hope that he can't end on his Floodgate monster,
Yeah.
and hope that you're able to break through the setup that he makes.
To be fair, though, like, he is maining 6 Kaijus, and the board that happened game 1 was definitely scary, but not really in terms of interactions, because there was only one negation and the Goliath. So even just the Kaiju there is able to completely turn the game upside down, because then if you get your own bottle load online, that's basically it. You steal their own bottle load, you steal dark matter, and it gets out of hand real quick. So I think he should stick to his game plan and just go second. Maybe, I say maybe, he could side in the artifact Lancia, but it doesn't seem like he's banishing that much.
No, I'm not convinced on Lancia. Something like Droll would be quite nice here, because Blue Eyes is much more... it's much more susceptible to not being able to search.
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of the difference between these two decks, right? The Burning Abyss deck doesn't care about hand traps as much because it's easier for its engine to get online. It's less effort, whereas the Blue Eyes deck is much more synergistic.
Yeah.
But again, if we don't have angles to attack that, then we have problems.
Yeah, because what I was thinking is, if you Lancia Dark Matter...
You can't activate Dark Matter if Lancia is activated.
That's what the thing, and it seems like that's the core of the deck, so maybe it could actually work. I wouldn't hate it. And while on the other hand, Maximilian has to try and side for BA, and if he's going first, I don't think he is siding much, because like his deck seems... I
mean, your plan doesn't change too much, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think, because if you go first, you still saw that you can make a huge board, and yeah, and just, I mean, it's tough to deal with everything.
Well, realistically, their side decks here just aren't designed for dealing with other decks on the same strategy. Like, these side decks look like they are designed for dealing with Solomon Greats.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you walk into this event, you're not going to expect to play against neither of these decks. Like, it can happen, but it's definitely not your top priority. And they decided to side a lot more for trap decks. So Solomon Great, Sky Strikers, and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the general.
So, let's see the ends. It seems like it's 2 dangers, then 2 returns of the Dragon Lord. I'm pretty sure like Giuseppe goes second again. What do you think?
I'm just
because like without Snow, I don't think you have much. Like you don't have anything at all. You only have like the Farfa and the Alec.
Farfa Beatrice is not a board that I want to be building.
Exactly. But let's see if he got scared by the Blue Eyes deck.
The Blue Eyes deck is pretty scary. It's like we've seen BA a lot at events. The last time we've seen Blue Eyes decks recently, I think we were playing the Invoked Blue Eyes decks, which were quite interesting, but they're very different to what we're seeing here now. Do you think that this is a better shift for the deck, or what would you be more comfortable on?
Well, it's... I mean, I'm honestly more on the 8 train, so I don't know. It's just that I've played against BA for so long, and honestly, I think there was a period from like 2014 up to 2016 where if I didn't win an event, every time I lost in Top Cut, it was due to Burning Abyss, and it just felt absurd after so much time. Now, I don't know. I think it's more of a fair deck right now, because as you said, the Burning Abyss are just a few one. And you have so much space for like Kaijus, Antrops, and depending on the meta, you can shape up your deck a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I think going second and trying to ATK is the correct way to play the deck. But I'm a little bit skeptic about being able to do it against every deck of this format. So
the format is really broad to be playing the aggressive decks, and specifically Orcust. Again, I'm going to keep going back to this, but Orcust has such a small engine that gives you straight access to a Boral Sword, assuming your opponent doesn't have interaction for it. So it's kind of a case, from my point of view, Burning Abyss is less appealing because we have a deck with a smaller engine.
Yeah.
Can do the same thing.
Definitely.
And doesn't have the issue that if you control a different type of monster, your monsters just blow themselves up.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, it's close, honestly. As you saw, like with the Orcus deck, you just need any 2 monsters on the field, and with the Burning Abyss deck is a little bit more gimmicky. But at the same time, they have really good engine outs in the form of Farfa, Kalkub, and Alec. So it's a matter of preference, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure. So we are just waiting for the guys to be ready to start.
Yeah, of course.
How impactful is a Kaiju here? Because we see a Radiant in Giuseppe's
I think
hands.
it's very impactful because as we saw, the deck is basically relying on Goliath to shut down everything. So Kaijus are huge.
Yeah.
Because particularly against Burning Abyss, like Red Dragon Archfiend is okay, depending on the end. But I'd say like the best target you can hit is probably a Fiendish Rhino or a Tour Guide. Nothing else really shines.
For sure, for sure.
And now
So-
it's, yeah,
Danger time.
danger time for sure. Oh, damn.
no, Okafoko, why do you keep hitting yourself?
And this is a big deal because now he doesn't really have much. So this danger is super important, and he needs to draw into any way to get a level 8 on board. He gets, let's see.
I mean, he can set the return, and if he has any other dangers, he can hit a level 8 from hand.
If he does.
Yep, here's a Nessie.
Okay, Nessie. Nessie is definitely a good one. But you want to discard it rather than summon it, so this is looking tough.
This is unfortunate.
He gets the Bigfoot,
That's not doing
and
anything here.
wow.
He could tribute to 2 of them to summon
Yeah,
Bigfoot.
the problem is you can't use return on alternative Blue Eyes.
Yes.
So he just pass and wow.
You can return the alternative if it's been summoned correctly first, which can come up. And it makes
Definitely,
return
definitely.
a very strong card, but yeah, it's unfortunate here.
Definitely unfortunate. And now Giuseppe is free to do whatever he wants. He has double Kaiju. He has a bunch of dangers of his own.
If the Burning Abyss deck has access to Dante here, I think that it just wins the game.
Yeah, and the Fiendish Rhino comes down.
Like there's no protection for the Blue Eyes deck. It doesn't have a live trap card.
Yep.
Now, if Giuseppe reads and thinks, hey, look, this could be like a Mirror Force or something, or some form of interaction in that regard, he might not go for game. But I think here you just assume your opponent's bricked, and you're just going to
For
punish
sure.
them for having the heavier, greedier
Yeah.
deck.
And to be fair, even if he didn't break, having double Kaijus against that kind of deck is a big deal. So,
Double Kaiju is always fun. I do like a good Kaiju fight.
yeah.
And it's kind of interesting because traditionally when Kaijus first rose to prominence, we saw a lot of Gameciel, right?
Yeah.
He was kind of your go-to guy. And then, you know, you might have Kumungus as well because you were playing Slumber.
Exactly.
But in the recent, like, year and a half, we're seeing a lot more of the bigger Kaijus,
Yep.
right? Boral Sword definitely feeds into that because Boral Sword says, oh, you have 3,300 attack.
Exactly.
I'll take some of that, thank you. But it's really interesting. It's great to see
Yeah,
that kind
it's
of
a
diversity.
change in the trend, and it makes sense. So he only sends one, which is a little bit surprising since Sir is already gone.
Yeah.
And you usually just don't want to send that, but
Yeah, we've got Rhino. Rhino sends. I assume we're sending Graph here.
Graph, yeah.
It's off screen, unfortunately. But yeah, I think the Burning Abyss is definitely my favorite to win this game.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the final game of the match, if that is the case. We get a Farfa. Farfa's reasonable. We get to go into a Link 2. We can go
Yeah,
into a
because you can
Cerberus.
just get rid of Nessie. You can go into Underclock if you feel like that, and
Yeah, Underclock's such a good card in this.
yeah, I love it. It was great in Goki as well for the OTK with Trigate. So
Yes. Yeah. So we're activating Sekka's Light, we're revealing Tour Guide, shuffling her back in. And Tour Guide is such an MVP for this deck. It's kind of weird because, you know, you don't see Skarm search as much anymore. Because it used to be that BA just would make Dante go, make Dante go. Whereas now Tour Guide is just kind of your best starter. Although Rhino Warrior is also really good.
Yeah,
now.
it's
They
close.
both lose to Valor, which is
Exactly.
unfortunate.
So he
See a
goes
Nightmare
for
Phoenix?
Phoenix.
Are we afraid of the back row here?
I mean,
Might
might
as well.
Chances are it's probably like Called by the Grave if not a bluff. So
Yeah, that's true. Called by is reasonably popular. We're banishing the Nessie. She's in defense.
Yeah.
We don't want to deal with that. We're destroying the return, which is reasonable. Like, the return was set before a danger effect was activated.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it would have been a questionable set, but it definitely was the right play to make there, even though he does now get hurt for it. And
was
my
it
favorite
though?
danger.
Yeah, I'm not
Yes,
sure.
It was
because
set before Nessie's effect, I believe.
yes, I guess so. Yeah.
Danger Tsuchinoko, the best danger. So cute.
The snake.
So dangerous.
Yeah.
Makes Dante fun times for everyone.
And now he picks up a Gallus as well, which is an easy way to make Waters Warden if he feels like it.
Yeah.
So
Gallus is a really interesting card because until you have Sekka's Light as kind of a reason to play an all-monster deck, Gallus just wasn't considered. And we are in a kind of day and age where everybody's looking for anything that says special summon this card. So it's kind of interesting that it took so long for Gallus to rise to prominence like this.
And now all he needs to do is basically make Boros Word, summon both the Kaijus, and he's good to go.
Yep.
That's his plenty enough of damage.
Yeah, and again, Boral Sword is a really strong card.
Yeah.
We see Radiant coming down for Maximilian, and we're going to see Thunder King coming down. What's your thoughts on the new Mecha Thunder King?
I mean, it's not really seeing play right now, but it's one of those cards that you never know. It might get a little bit in the future, especially with Lambert 3.
Maximilian's like, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, that's
we
fine.
know
That's
what's
fine.
happening
That's
here.
fine.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to, honestly, I mean, we have plenty of time, but you don't want to waste any because of Barber being a card. You never know that might come up. You don't want to lose a game like that. And there should be about 10 minutes left in the round as we approach game 3.
Yeah.
Which is a reasonable amount of time, but not too much if you open a huge combo as Maximilian did in game 1. So now we go back to Maximilian having his decision. Do you think he would ever go second?
Oh, I think I'm going second here as Maximilian.
Yeah?
I think it depends how tight I think time is. If I think time is tight, I'm going second, so I get first attack.
Yeah.
I think realistically, I would prefer to see the extra card as I'm playing the greedy deck, because if it were not Burning Abyss I was playing against, I definitely would go first. But against Burning Abyss, from my understanding of the deck in the format, their best turn 1 play is just end on Beatrice.
Exactly, and the big difference without Snow is that right now Kaijus are super popular. We've seen them everywhere because of Salomon Great, Sky Striker, and so on. And with Snow, you basically could afford to just use Beatrice in the draw phase. Well, now you can't anymore. So if they have a Kaijus, it's gonna hurt a lot. So,
and we see Maximilian has Gamma Seals and Dogrins. So even if he brings in Kaijus and he sees multiples, he just gets a free level 8 so that he can make his Dark Matter Dragon.
Which is great. He has like 5 Kaijus and Slumbers, so that's a big deal.
Cypher Dragon, as I said earlier, also deals with Beatrice really well. I will take your Beatrice and turn her into a Dark Matter Dragon. Thank you very much.
And we know that since Giuseppe is not playing Dante Pilgrim Diffusion, even Slumber would be really good against Beatrice, to be honest.
Yeah, Slumber is a really good card. I mean, Giuseppe will get to summon a Dante from his extra deck, but I mean,
doesn't really do much.
whatever.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
He'll summon a Dante and like summon a BA monster.
Yeah.
By
Which
sending
is gonna get destroyed though because of the kaiju, so it's...
That is true. That is true. Kaiju fights.
Yeah. Well, let's see what Maximilian decides to do. And it's looking like he is going second by his body language. Let's see if I'm right. But
I would interpret it that way as
Yeah.
well. Do you ever have any of those friends that just have specific noises they make whenever they kaiju you?
I mean, I don't know. I know, like, it's weird. Yeah, it happens
I
sometimes.
have a friend who has like signature gamma seal noise and just
Really?
makes like whale noises as he like crushes your hopes and dreams, and it's like, oh no. You know, it's fun while I lose.
Yeah, I don't know if the opponent is having fun if you do that. Otherwise, yes, but sure.
Yes, perhaps not at a YCS,
Yeah,
but at locals,
your
it's
local,
perfect.
yeah, you shouldn't definitely practice in front of a mirror your kaiju noises.
It's an important life skill.
Yeah.
And here comes Jackalope.
Did
I wonder.
He normal summoned it.
It looked like he normal summoned it,
Yeah.
yeah. Dante effect.
So
Let's spin the wheel.
he should only send one, but he doesn't. Which means that...
Sending one seems like it would have been better there.
Yeah, because he did it last game and Seer was already gone. And now he does the opposite thing. Which
We are discarding a BA. We are summoning Beatrice in defense.
And that's about it.
We can sack his light to draw a card.
And wow, we can see Maximilian as the original Chaos Emperor Dragon, which was recently unbanned. Which we know, due to the new errata, basically what it says is that you can't use its effect during the turn you used other cards or effects, but it's still really big. So
Ogopogo didn't hit itself this time. It is
finally
magical deck. And it hits Nessie. That's really nice.
Okay. We forgive you.
You did it, kiddo. You got there eventually.
Exactly.
I feel like a proud parent. It's like
better late than never.
That great big sea monstrosity. He's finally grown up. And it's kind of cool how the danger engine, like we had mentioned, there's kind of different levels of it. You have this level 8 engine, and then you also have the level 3 engine, which is what the BA deck is playing. They actually remind me a lot of Burning Abyss cards.
Yeah?
They have a similar amount of versatility. There's Chaos Dragon Leveneer going to Graveyard. We have 2 level 8s on board.
And now you probably just wait for the XYZ summon to use the Beatrice.
I think so. That is what I would be doing. Although, you could tribute summon Blue Eyes White Dragon here. And that's always tempting.
He goes for a Bigfoot. And
we get a tree again. We are sending Jackalope to the graveyard. That's pretty nice.
Always good.
That's a really good hit.
Yeah.
These are insanely good hits off the dangers this game.
Yeah, it seems like he wasn't really on point in the last game, so now he's definitely going for it.
See, he's found fate in the heart of the cards, and that just lets him summon a bunch of monsters in one turn, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good strategy. I'd recommend trying it out.
Always.
Always, yeah.
So unfortunately, it opened the Goliath, but it's not that big of a deal if he's able to just combo off. So let's see how he wants to deal with this Beatrice, because we have to keep in mind there should be about 4 minutes left, so it's getting in the danger zone.
Okay, we see a Cypher Dragon. Does Beatrice want to send a Farfa? I'm thinking yes.
I mean, you have to, because otherwise he's gonna get steal, right?
Yes, pretty much. Unless you have, like, Valor in hand.
Which
Valor
he
is a
doesn't.
good card. No.
It's also unfortunate that he didn't have at least an Alec or a Farfa under the Beatrice.
Yes.
To have, like, a pseudo-double negation, but...
The double interaction would actually make a big difference here.
Yep.
You kind of need double Farfa here, though, to be fair.
I know.
Which, sadly, you cannot do.
Yeah.
But...
Because we know there is no way to prevent a dark matter from hitting the field in this duel.
Yeah, and Dark Matter is...
Yeah,
Well,
it's huge.
Dark Matter won't put damage on the board because it'll destroy the Beatrice and then
Attack over the Dante.
attack over the Dante.
Yeah.
So unless Maximilian has a way to get another monster on board,
But
which,
yeah.
oh well, Dark Matter just gains so much advantage anyway.
Yeah, but you
So-
also have the, I think, the Photon Armor, which pops a monster on the field, which is the other Galaxy rank 8, so he could
Yeah.
actually destroy Beatrice before. But let's see how he wants to go for this.
Banishing Cypher Dragon.
Yeah, that has to
Awesome.
happen.
Yes.
Do you think that, yeah, I mean, I guess you have to do it because of the Link monsters, because otherwise I was thinking he could have gone for a different Galaxy to force the Farfa.
Right. I guess it's a case that you need Cypher to put enough pressure on to force your opponent to use the Beatrice effect.
Okay, now a little bit of because he summoned in number 38, so I think it is actually fair that that's the XYZ he needs to summon, because apparently he summoned it, and then he's like he changed his mind or whatever. But
Right.
That's, I
don't
think that's what they're
it's
issuing.
Super important.
Can you upgrade it, or is there a catch?
It's still just a Galaxy monster, right? That's the requirement for full
Yeah.
armor. So I don't.
So I think the only difference is that he will be able to pop one more.
Yeah.
But let's see how they want to rule this. It's possible that they will call a net judge just to be sure about the decision. And they should get back the time, because right now we're approaching the 1 minute left.
This is very likely the last turn in the game.
Yeah, it should be.
So
And-
full armor has to be on a Galaxy Eyes monster. And Hope Harbinger Titanic Galaxy is not a Galaxy Eyes monster.
Yeah. Same for Dark Matter, right?
I believe so.
That would change a lot, actually.
Yes, Dark Matter Dragon also requires a Galaxy Eyes.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird to try and go into the Hope Harbinger there as well, because it doesn't interact with the board much. It
Exactly. I
seems
honestly think it's just a mistake, because they look pretty similar to each other. And to be fair, it didn't really hold the card. Like, it didn't summon it and then took it back. So it's one of those things that can happen, but you also have to be extra careful when you're at the YCS. So I can't really blame him for this. And
being careful not to autopilot is something that I think is really important.
Yeah.
Because it does seem to be a case where he's just like, this is rank 8.
Exactly.
This is one. Okay, so he's getting to summon his Tachyon
Okay,
Galaxy.
apparently he can summon the Tachyon, so all good. He'll now be able to upgrade into Matter, and
They have a little bit of time left.
yeah, it's about 7 minutes left, so
There were just some extensions for judge calls. And it's great to have judges here on the feature match so that when there are cases like
Definitely.
this, we can just get it resolved as quickly as possible. We see Dark Matter Dragon come down again.
yep,
Shock to no one. Such an impactful card.
it is.
Like, it did single-handedly manage to get the 4 Dragon Rulers sent to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, likely. I mean, because that would have been really too much.
Did you play any events during that kind of like
In the Dragon
3-day
Ruler? Or
the 3-day period where him and the Dragon Rulers were playable?
I'm not sure. I remember it because I was following a lot about the discussion, but I don't really think I actually attended any event in those 3 days. But like,
I think it was literally a weekend, and
Yeah,
then on the
it is.
Monday they were just like, no
yeah,
more Dragon Rulers.
that's not. Okay, now we can go into the combo. We saw game 1, so he summons all the guard dragons, and he will be able to use both the LP and the PST. So he just wants to go and see what he wants to do. Something important mentioning is that he did open the Goliath, so he has to be careful with how he handles that. But
He could just tribute summon Goliath here, to be honest.
yeah, and
Chaos
here he goes, the
Emperor
original
Dragon.
one. How many
Anyway,
years
yeah.
do we have to wait for this? So is back just to be gone in a bunch of seconds.
What a great guy. I mean, I guess he's a dragon as opposed to Blackluster Soldier, who's a warrior.
Yeah,
And also, you're playing Chaos Emperor Dragon Envoy at the end.
of course.
It feels good. Although traditional format will never be the same again since Diorata.
So yeah, now as predicted, he just goes into the same combo. So the LP, he should get the Red Eyes Metal, Darkness Metal Dragon from deck and then keep abusing it.
Yeah. And we see that the Guard Dragon cards just give so much payoff to Dark Matter Dragon.
Yeah.
Because if we think back to the previous format that Dark Matter saw play, it would send a couple of white stones and such.
Indeed.
Whereas now getting the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon is such a massive payoff.
So yeah, incredible field. The triple burst is really good, both because it's a dragon, and as long as guard dragons are on the field, you can only summon dragons. And also, it can negate its effect in the damage step, which is definitely relevant against Burning Abyss, just like it is against Sky Striker's Ray.
Do you want to know what a really good dragon in this format is, Darren?
Yeah, let's say you're...
Boral Sword.
Oh, really?
Apparently. So I've heard. So the rumor goes.
Don't spoil it for anyone.
Poor Boral Guard. He's like the little brother who just nobody appreciates.
Yeah. So now he gets back the Abyss, or no, he's thinking about it. Yeah. There it is.
He can make another Dark Matter Dragon here, right?
Yeah, he can. He's gonna go for a Borderload first.
Yeah.
And he's free to do literally whatever he wants. So
he doesn't actually play Boral Sword at all here, right? Because
No.
Dark Matter just gives him the kill pressure
Exactly.
anyway, so he doesn't need the extra damage that Boral Sword represents. Because you already have the biggest monster in the format.
Yeah.
We're banishing 3 cards from our deck, and we're sending 3 cards to the graveyard. It's just such a disruptive card. The ability to force your opponent to take cards out of their deck is quite disruptive.
yeah, it's such a good card because at the same time you get a lot of advantage by sending whatever dragons you need, and you get to have even just the information, as you were saying in game 1, is relevant because
This could very easily be our breakout rogue deck of the event.
yeah.
Like,
So it does normal summon Goliath. I am,
our judges are just double checking the card text of Destrudo. it
or
seems.
maybe checking if he did normal summon this turn. Oh no, that's why. Yeah, because Destrudo was not summoned by its effect.
Ah,
So
right,
yeah, it's gonna go to the grave. I'm wondering why he did this before, because Dark Matter can attack directly, right? Unless he detaches for its effect.
It can attack directly, it just can't attack twice directly.
I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so he could have just.
Because it did look like he had game on board there.
No, I don't think he did, but
Oh,
it
Dark
was-
Matter. Sure, he could leave his opponent on about 1,000.
Yeah, because the Archivin Abyss is it's 32, so yeah, he could have dealt, like, leave him on 300 life points left, which is really small, and then go in main phase 2 for it. So I'm wondering why he didn't do that, but I mean, it shouldn't be super relevant. You can see this board is absolutely incredible, and there is only about a minute and a half left for Giuseppe. I think the life points should be updated, right?
I'm pretty sure damage has been dealt to Giuseppe's life points. Torgate. And we're gonna say
Turgate gets negated. He has the Destrudo, which does not help, and
I mean, he's playing Yazzie, right?
Yeah, but he can't use his extra deck because of Goliath. So
That is
basically, yeah.
And again, we see the problem
Yeah.
where he doesn't have spells to resolve.
Wow, what a game. Nice handshake. So Maximilian takes the match, and we're gonna go on a recap in our post-match discussion.
And
Wow.
that was a really impressive game.
Yeah.
Like, the Blue Eyes deck is something that we've not seen in ages. The Burning Abyss deck, a deck that's been hit by the Forbidden Unlimited list, and we kind of wanted to see how it was doing. This matchup seemed very much favored to the Blue Eyes. We saw the Blue Eyes deck show that it had the biggest monsters, and when it comes down to monster matchups, the biggest guy is going to win there.
Definitely. And yeah, overall, I mean, we just saw that Fairy Tail Snow was so important for Burning Abyss from when they go first, essentially.
Yes.
So if you go second on purpose against Burning Abyss, they're going to struggle to deal with your field. And overall, I mean, we got to see both in Game 1 and in Game 3 how good Dark Matter is and how good, I mean, overall Maximilian deck is for making Dark Matter. All it takes is a couple dangers. That's easy.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I mean, we saw in Game 1, we saw dangers hitting themselves in the deck, and the deck was still able to do its combos.
Exactly.
I think the Burning Abyss deck was quite unfortunate in Games 1 and 3, where its hands, it didn't see kaijus, it didn't see ways to interact with the board. Because the problem is it's so reliant on its extra deck, and just to be locked out by Goliath each time made it really difficult.
But yeah, I was definitely convinced by Maximilian deck. He also meaning like triple Denko Sekka, which helps a lot against the other matchups like Salomon Great. And unless he opens bad ends like he did in Game 2, unfortunately, where he basically missed a couple dangers and he couldn't play anymore, I think that his deck definitely has the chance to keep going well. So let's wish
I think it's really
him
interesting.
and,
I hope to see it again later in the day.
Definitely. Let's wish them both good luck. And let's go to Oliver.
We're back on the main event stage. This is where the magic happens. Max, you just won. Congratulations. You said you had a okay feeling going into this. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling good now. I was a little bit stressed because, yeah, it's like you're...
It's different. It's
It's different, yeah. I'm very nervous just
It's
looking...
basically like you're in the tournament, everything is going well. Someone is playing Trickster Light stage and suddenly lights in your face, everything, and you're in the feature match. This is pretty much what it's like, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much like that. Yeah.
All right, so walk us through it one more time. You came with like a bit of a different take. Like you had some cards that we don't see every day. And Marcello just now gave you a lot of credit for it. He said he really agrees with some of your choices that helped you. How did you come up with your final list of cards?
I was inspired with some God Dragon lists online, and I just took a little bit from every deck profile I saw and just worked around with it, and this is the final result. It's just a little bit of a meta call, and as well as just for going second OTK.
Right. Okay. So you win the first game, everything is going according to plan. Did you feel a little bit relieved after that first game?
Yeah, I think it's another thing if you just lose the first game. It's yeah, you're just negative-minded into the game. So yeah, it was a good thing.
Okay. So, but still, your opponent also very good player, very good deck, managed to win the second game. So how did that go down? And like from your point of view, what was it like? Basically, seeing that combo go off and then you lose the match, the game. What was that like?
Yeah, I know BA, so it was just a standard thing, and yeah, it wasn't good. A 2-0 would be better. Would have been better, but yeah,
It's part of the game.
it's part of the game. You win, you lose. That's Yu-Gi-Oh.
So now you're going into the third game. Is there anything that you're doing differently compared to before, like in terms of side decking or your strategy of approaching that final duel?
Yeah, usually I plan to go first with this deck every time. That's why I cited the Mask of Restriction, so I can't be kaiju'd or yeah, something else. But this time I saw it wasn't that much time left on the clock, so I just planned to go second because I knew that BA couldn't just build an unbreakable board or something.
Okay, and in the end, that strategy played out really, really well for you. So overall, I think that feature match couldn't have gotten that much better for you, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy with the final result.
All right. Well, we might see you again. Like so far, so good. Definitely on track to making day 2, maybe even the top cut. But are you staying with the original strategy, which is more like one match at a time?
Yeah, that's my take to go through the event.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Like I said, best of luck for the rest of the day. We are running 23 minutes behind the main event. So last few rounds, we actually only had something like 30 minutes overtime, which is pretty fast for an event of this size, which speaks volumes of the judge team and all the volunteers that are helping out this weekend. So thank you to these guys. They are making it happen. We are now having a little bit of a longer break, which gives us some chance to recreate, and then we're gonna be back. We recorded some cool and exciting stuff yesterday already. We also have some age-old feature matches, and I actually want to hear your feedback for this. So instead of showing you the finals of the last event, of the second to last event, something like that, I decided we also want to have some feature matches from 2015, like way back is what some people would say. So give us some feedback, what you like about those feature matches. Tell us what you think about the coverage. With that, we're going to take our short break, and then we're going to be back with another feature match from YCS 2.